Hi, everyone. One of the things you'll sometimes hear us talk about at Christchurch London is the fact that we see ourselves as an everything church. It's based on the line at the start of Psalm 24, which says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." And it's based on our conviction that all of life, everything matters to God, and therefore it should matter to us as well. And we think this message of cultural renewal is actually vitally important. It's one of the reasons we run the Everything Conference. And the conference last November in 2020 was a massive highlight. And I'd really encourage you to check out the resources on the website, everythingconference.org. But we feel like Christians should be involved in bringing about change wherever they find themselves, be it education or business or finance or medicine or family life or social action. Basically, we should be involved in everything. And as with all parts of the Christian life, this is not something we should be doing alone. And so part of our vision is to create networks or communities who are holding this vision together and collaborating to bring about change. Just one example of this, recently, David Stroud, who's the senior leader of Christchurch London, has been meeting with a number of leaders working against slavery, helping them strengthen their relationships, but also helping them better collaborate, work out strategies together so they can better bring about change. And to make things really practical, part of our vision is to continue to produce discipleship resources like our Everything course, which you can access through our website. But we also want to give Everything more resources to help it do everything that we believe it should be doing, not only to bless Christchurch, but to bless the wider church in the UK and beyond as well. And so we are developing plans to transition Everything from relying on its own funds from conference sales and investment from Christchurch to actually generating its own income streams. And our hope is that within around about 18 months to 2 years or so, Everything as a ministry will be able to finance itself. And so we're kind of seeing the next time period, next 2 years or so, as a bit of a startup, really, trusting God that that can help catapult Everything into everything that it can be. And as part of working towards that goal, we're actually hiring a new member of staff to join our team at church and to take on the role as the director of the Everything ministry. Her name is Erin, and she's going to be moving from the US to the UK in August. And before you get to meet her in church in person, I caught up with her on Zoom to find out a bit more about her. Hope you enjoy. Well, thanks so much, Erin, for joining us today. Where are you Zooming from right now?
Well, Andy, that answer changes about every 3 weeks or so in the course of this transition period. But today you are finding me in the Seattle, Washington area, the Pacific Northwest of the US.
Your background looks so much better than my background right now. I'm very jealous.
This is my consolation for doing early morning calls. Make it outside before the sun beats down on the deck.
For those who don't know you, which I guess is most people in Christchurch right now, tell us a bit about yourself, your background, where you grew up, and so on.
Yeah, so I am a military child, the oldest of 3 kids. I spent most of my childhood moving around every 3 or 4 years, mainly in the Midwest of the US. I was born in Nebraska, which is smack dab in the middle of the country. I was raised in a Christian household. I came to faith at the age of 9, and then in the course of owning what it looks like to have a relationship with Christ, really started that journey in high school and onward. Professionally, my background is in politics, nonprofit, some foreign policy, some international relations, and also some ministry work where I've largely kind of focused on building strategic initiatives, developing networks, and doing a bit of fundraising because, you have to be able to support what you're doing and the ideas that you have. On a personal level, I love to host dinner parties and to kind of create space to bring people together and cook for large groups. And so I look forward to being settled in London and putting that aspect of hospitality into practice again.
Wow, that is quite a list. I feel like if I'd asked you what you haven't done, it might have been shorter. That's extraordinary. And I'm going to take you up on the hospitality thing.
Yes.
when you move here. I'd love to hear about your heart for Everything. We'll talk about the conference in a moment, but if Everything is basically our conviction that all of life matters to God, talk to us a bit about what's God gifted you with. How has your faith worked itself out in the areas that you've been involved in?
One of the things that occurred to me probably about 8 years into my journey or kind of career aspect professionally is the Lord has given me a really diverse network of relationships that I feel called to steward. a lot of my professional background has been working with in very senior and influential areas of power and with people with authority. And it's not something I've sought. And so that's where I feel like the Lord has gifted me with that. And my heart has been, how do I treat these people with respect due to their position, but to treat them like humans and not try to get something out of it. And honestly, it's this question of, Lord, how do I love these people well? And how do I steward this relationship well for you, that's led me on this journey that has brought me to everything today.
We're excited to hear more of that when you move here. We're really excited you're joining the team at Christchurch, London. Talk to us a bit about your role with everything and what you're going to be doing when you get here.
Yeah, so my main focus will be working closely with David and Philippa and the wider Christchurch London team to grow everything from the day-long conference that it's been over the last few years into a movement of Christians across sectors and in, where they are in their own contexts of leadership committed to the work of cultural renewal. It seems really lofty, but I think what it means is there's going to just be a lot of meeting with people across the church, across London and parts of the UK, and with different organizations and ministry that have a similar vision and a heart for cultural renewal to help build the foundation of what this movement and this network can grow to become. And so these early months will be a lot of behind the scene work. So you're probably not going to hear a lot of me or hear a lot from everything for the first 6 to 9 months, but hopefully the ground laying work will bring about some fruition. So you'll start hearing more about what we're doing later in the spring as we roll out more ways to engage with the work of cultural renewal. It's the Lord's movement at the end of the day. And so we just want to steward what he's given us in everything.
Well, we can't wait to have you with us, Erin. Wish you very safe travels when you move to the UK, and look forward to meeting you finally in person very soon.
The feeling is mutual, Andy.
Great.